Human beings are searching for the personal experience of reality. They are seeking to come to understand themselves, to find a reason for their own existence.
And so you go round and round and round, ever chasing the illusion that there is something outside yourself, outside your here and now, to be attained that will make things better.
No guru, no method, no teacher, and no nothing else either.
Captain's log, stardate 3620.1. We're almost out of doubt. All efforts at self-sabotage have produced little effect. Our impatience is dwindling. Thankfully, our irrationality is still holding up. It seems the gravity of our actions and our choices are propelling us towards some kind of large-scale anomaly. Help us. Our lives are spiraling into control. Now I'd like to take a moment and focus on what I'm grateful for today. Today I am grateful to have connection with a spiritual source that has helped me refine my daily life, and when things get uncomfortable, kind of edge me back into a more structured lifestyle. Now I'll get into a couple of quotes. If people knew how hard I worked to get my mastery, it wouldn't seem so wonderful at all. That was said by Michelangelo. The mind loves the unknown. It loves images whose meaning is unknown, since the meaning of the mind itself is unknown. And that was said by Rene Magritte. I might have pronounced that wrong. People who look for symbolic meaning fail to grasp the inherent poetry and mystery of the images. And that was said by Rene Magritte. So I'm just in this interesting space where I could have picked from all these other topics, but I really felt like the captain's log thing was the appropriate thing to do. And I guess where I'll start with this topicless topic is the Michelangelo quote. If people knew how hard I worked to get my mastery, it wouldn't seem so wonderful at all. And I think that's something that I don't even recognize sometimes, is like how much effort and work I have put into developing myself and creating a better structure for my life, and how fortunate I am to have had so much of my time dedicated to getting high and like bullshit that I was able to completely gut my life, really. I don't think many people are as fortunate as me to have a life completely built on bullshit. So when they want to make a paradigm shift, it's a lot more difficult because they have some stable stuff in their life. Also, I think having the ability to dedicate a year of my life specifically to personal betterment, to following a dream, without having to worry about money, just because I was living at my mom's and just doing stuff around the house. And like, I don't think many people get that luxury, obviously, and I'm very fortunate. And it's not something that I take lightly, although sometimes I do forget about it. I'm human. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect, because I'm not. And that's one of the things. It's like, it's easy for people to look at where somebody is and not necessarily recognize the amount of work behind all that stuff. That's why one of the things that's important to me in doing this podcast is putting everything out there in a format to where people can see the hours that I put into developing myself, starting out as just some dude, never behind a microphone, never on video really before, just talking about the shit that he's been through, and see how much I've developed in that time period. Like, I'm sure it would be crazy to sit back and watch all the episodes from the beginning to now to see who I've become. And that's surreal to me. And I don't think most people would want to do the amount of work that I've had to do. The next quote, the mind loves the unknown. It loves images whose meaning is unknown, since the meaning of the mind itself is unknown. So in the end of that captain's log that I had, said our choices are propelling us towards some kind of large-scale anomaly. I'm leading to some unknown precipice. That was the thing when I was still getting high and doing the same shit that I did every day. I pretty much knew what every day was going to be like. I would get high and I would play video games and I would not accomplish anything. When I was working, I would get high, I'd go get drunk, try to chase women occasionally. That would work out for me. Like, what I'm doing now is uncharted territory. Like, not self-sabotaging myself or doing so, but being able to like correct myself and get myself back on the right track. And this is going to create a different outcome for me. And I don't know what it is. And that's kind of uncomfortable. I'm getting a lot more comfortable being in the unknown and approaching the unknown in a somewhat more logical fashion. But logic isn't really something that I practice that often. I mean, I try to think about things logically, but my approach to it is different than most, to say the least. And this last quote, people who look for symbolic meaning fail to grasp the inherent poetry and mystery of the images. And that one really hit home with me because I do try to look for the symbolic meaning in life and paintings and all that stuff. And it's kind of like in the 12-step program, they tell me to not overcomplicate things. And maybe I'm really missing out on some of the beauty of some of this stuff because all these layers of compound meaning. What's the spiritual implication of this? What's this implication of this? What's that implication of this? And instead of seeing what is, I'm applying this filter over everything. And I'm not going to say that that filter doesn't help me. But maybe what I need to do is learn to remove these filters I've learned to build up and then choose how to use them, I guess. And I think that's something that everybody can do. Like, the takeaway from this episode, I guess, would be learn how, and this is a suggestion, I'm not telling you that you have to. Just to be clear, I don't want to be those people that think that they have solutions. This is what I've done, and it could help you if you find your own way to frame it in a way that makes sense for you. Learn to incrementally add things into your life that will give you the life that you want. For me, like, a lot of the things that I'm doing now, I wanted before, but I didn't do it in a logical way. So when I started doing all the stuff that I'm doing now, I made usually daily effort on a small scale to make steps towards what I wanted. And it's very easy to become doubtful of what you're doing when you're progressing at things in that way, because initially the progress is very, very little. You're like, wow, I don't really have anything to show for this effort. If you continually take that sustained small effort, you will have a large body of accomplishments. And that's the beauty of it. Big accomplishments are nice, but having those small incremental accomplishments builds up faith to create big accomplishments, and it also in itself becomes a big accomplishment. The next thing that I had to do, and I would suggest you do, is once you have this structure, leave the results of what could come from it out of your mind. Do it because you enjoy doing it. And if you don't enjoy doing it, you have to evaluate if it's worth doing. You get so many hours in your day. Is this worth doing? Is me sitting here talking about this worth doing? To me, yeah, it is, even if nobody else likes it. And that's what I have to remember. This is meaningful to me. Hopefully it helps somebody. Hopefully somebody hears this and resonates with it. So now you've built this habit up. You're doing it for you. The next thing really is find ways to revitalize it. And if you can't revitalize it, when you're getting tired of doing it, or when you have doubt, the other thing you have to do is just do it regardless. I'm not going to lie, like in the past couple of weeks, there's been a couple of times where I'm like, do I really even want to do this podcast anymore? Maybe I should give this up. Maybe this isn't how I'm supposed to transmit my spiritual truths. Maybe this isn't the best medium for me. Maybe my approach isn't going to work. It doesn't matter. I have to do this because this is what I have to do. I'm sure people get it. I'm not going to harp on that point. And if you continue to do that kind of stuff, there will be some kind of momentum. In worst case scenario, if you put that effort in and nothing comes from it and you have the attitude of doing it just to do it, there's still a profound sense of peace in accomplishing that. And then you can utilize that experience, that energy for a different project, for something else. So it's not wasted. It's refining yourself, developing stronger commitment, and channeling it. Now, in regards to like these unknown things, if you want to get better at cultivating a life that you want, that's meaningful, I would suggest learning to be comfortable with the unknown. Because for me, a lot of what made life boring was the predictability of it. And there's this saying, get comfortable being uncomfortable. I really am getting comfortable being uncomfortable with the unpredictability of everything, to the point now where I have to get comfortable being comfortable. And in regards to that, the line about Captain's log, we're almost out of doubt. Like I'm losing doubt in myself that I can't do what I'm doing. I just have to do the work. All efforts at self-sabotage have produced little effect. Like, because of the actions I've cultivated in my life, because of the honest self-honesty I've cultivated, because of the checks and balances, I have not been able to self-sabotage myself. And I will say this too, because this is very important. It doesn't mean that I can't become, I'm not self-sabotage proof. I'm not relapse proof. I'm not mistake proof. I'm not perfect. And I have to keep that at the forefront of my mind with stuff that I'm doing. Like, I can be overconfident and I can get myself all twisted up. But I have to also have confidence that moving forward, I can avoid self-sabotaging myself or avoid large consequences from self-sabotaging myself by moving forward cautiously, maybe not even cautiously, with awareness, I guess. At this point, I feel like I feel that I've hit everything that I want to talk about. If you want to support this podcast, share the podcast with people, leave a review on iTunes, share my website with people. I do need to start doing more work on the website front of things. I have a couple more things I need to tie up before I do that. If you want to support me, buy stuff from my store, buy a tarot card reading. What else? Oh, buy my book on Amazon. Vagrant Verses. There'll be a link below in the description. Yeah, that's it. Like, I'm not going to do Patreon. I've decided, just because I don't like that pay model. I mean, if you want to donate money, go for it. But I'm not going to create more show or hide half the show from you to shake you down. That doesn't align with me. If it aligns with other people, that's great. I don't like that model. Yeah, with that, love and light, I respect and appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful day of Stardate 3620.1. I hope y'all make it a good one. Yeah, peace.
Yeah.